it is my enormous pleasure to welcome you to graduation. I have a few announcements to make before we begin so that you can relax and enjoy the ceremony. Graduands, an easy job to start with. Please check that your seat number matches the number on your ticket because you'll be called to the stage in this order. If you discover that these do not match, our team of stewards can help you locate your correct seat. At the appropriate time, you'll be invited by the stewards to stand, to make your way to the foot of the stairs, ready to head up the stairs and across the stage. All very straightforward. There are two key things which make for a seamless ceremony. Firstly, as soon as the person ahead of you begins to cross the stage, please make sure you make your way up the stairs. Please don't wait until they've passed across the stage before you reach the top of the stairs. Secondly, don't let excitement and pride overwhelm you so much that you forget to pick up your degree parchment after you've crossed the stage. If you do, don't worry, you have still graduated. But don't try to go back because you will collide with someone coming the other way. Instead, please visit the graduation information desk in the exhibition centre where you collected your gown and tickets 30 minutes after the ceremony to collect your parchment. At the end of the ceremony, graduates are asked to process out of the hall directed by the stewards. Family and friends, the stewards will show you the exits once the graduates have left the hall. If the fire alarm should sound at any point, please remain in your seats, instructions will be given, and we will escort you to the nearest exit. As graduates, you will join an international community of over 100,000 York alumni. The York Alumni Association holds many free events each year designed to help you make connections with other alumni across the world and boost your career prospects. To ensure that the Alumni Association is able to make contact with you about these events, please register your contact details at the stand in the exhibition centre, where you can also have group photos taken and collect your graduation pin. In April, you will receive an email about a national survey, the destinations of leavers from higher education. The survey focuses on a specific date in April and asks you about your activities on that date. Please take a few moments to complete the survey and let us know what you're doing. The results will help us provide the right support for our current students and make sure we offer graduates like you relevant information and opportunities. Finally, please turn off your mobile phones, and will you all now please stand?
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I declare this congregation open for the conferment of awards.
Chancellor, I have the pleasure and the honour to welcome here today Lord Neuberger of Abbotsbury, President of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. Lord Neuberger is an immensely distinguished lawyer whose rise to become the most senior judge in our country has been one of the quickest of modern times. He was called to the bar in 1974 and took silk in 1987. He became a judge of the Chancery Division in 1996, a Lord Justice of Appeal in 2007, and a member of the House of Lords while it was still our final Court of Appeal in 2007. When the Supreme Court was established in 2009 to replace the judicial functions of the House of Lords, Lord Neuberger became one of its founding members. At the same time, he became Master of the Rolls. In 2012, Lord Neuberger assumed his current role as President of the Supreme Court. Chancellor, one might think that becoming a member of one final Court of Appeal is impressive enough. But Lord Neuberger is a member of not just one, but two of such courts. That is because his talents have been recognised abroad. In 2009, Lord Neuberger was appointed a non-permanent judge of the Hong Kong Court of Final Appeal. Lord Neuberger has decided many cases as a judge, but in the time available to me today, I would like to mention just two of them. The first was an application before him in the Chancery Division back in 1998. And the case was called Re Osiris Insurance Limited, and it concerned the reorganisation of insurance companies. Not something, perhaps, that's particularly memorable for anyone outside the rather small number of people who habitually deal with such things. But the case did give me, as a pupil barrister, the chance to witness at first hand the intelligence, skill and care of the then Mr. Justice Neuberger. Insurance law and corporate reorganisations are a long way from the centre of Lord Neuberger's own legal interests. But if you'd been in the court that day, as I was, you would not have realised this. The judge was entirely in command of a somewhat recherché area of the law that's normally the province of specialists. The judge showed breadth as well as depth in his knowledge and practice of the law. Those involved in the case have all moved on. We know what became of Mr. Justice Neuberger. Counsel in the case was a rising junior barrister, but is now Mr. Justice Snowden of the Chancery Division. The pupil barrister made it as far as York Law School and will let his colleagues decide whether or not that's a good thing. The second case I would like to mention is from much later in Lord Neuberger's judicial career. That case is Stack and Dowden, decided by the House of Lords in 2007. Stack and Dowden is a very important case in land law, and one which will be familiar to every law student who graduates LLB from this university. I hope so, you're out there. And indeed from any English university. Lord Neuberger took a somewhat different view of the case from that taken by the majority of the House, led by Baroness Hale of Richmond, who herself was awarded an honorary degree by the university only last year. Such differences of opinion are vitally important in our legal system. They demonstrate the integrity of the courts, where each judge is prepared to say what she or he honestly and carefully considers to be the right answer, whether or not that puts the judge in agreement with his or her peers. They allow lawyers to explore the law and develop it in the light of these differences of opinion. And rather less importantly, perhaps, they help keep legal academics like me in a job. I'm very glad that the university can honour in such quick succession both of the judges concerned. Chancellor, Lord Neuberger's public service has involved much more than just his judicial career. Time constrains me to mention only one thing, which is very dear to the heart of the law school and of the university. Lord Neuberger has striven to improve and widen access to the legal profession, and particularly the bar. Between 2006 and 2007, he led an investigation for the Bar Council into widening access to the bar. He also served on the government's panel on fair access to the professions, which reported in July 2009. These initiatives matter greatly to us all. Chancellor, as one of the most distinguished members of the legal profession working in the United Kingdom today, and as one of the youngest law lords ever appointed, it is a very great honour to present to you Lord Neuberger of Abbotsbury for the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
Of the powers vested in me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
It's a great honour to receive an honorary degree from this great university. And I'd like to thank the Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor, and the Chairman of Members of Council for according me this honour. As a judge, it gives me particular pleasure to be here. Until relatively recently, English judges did not, I think, pay enough attention to the work of academic lawyers. Our law suffered as a result, but now we pay much more attention to what academic lawyers write, and I believe and hope that our judgments have improved as a result. Academics and judges have different perspectives and different experiences, and as always, dialogue and diversity are beneficial. It's also a personal pleasure for me to receive a law degree. I didn't study law as a student. I only took up law after getting a degree in chemistry and then spending an inglorious couple of years in the world of banking. So like many of those of you who are receiving degrees today, I'm not a law graduate. But unlike you, I haven't beavered away for 3 years in order to get my degree today. And unlike you, I do not represent the future. So all of you are much more deserving and much more important than I am. You've worked hard to get your degrees, and you and your families should be proud of your achievement. And you are no doubt discovering that, as so often seems to happen in life, what appears in prospect to be the top of a hill turns out to be a staging post. Some may regard that as a disappointment, but it's what makes life exciting, because each stage of your life presents you with opportunities. And in that connection, may I briefly mention and share 1 or 2 lessons I've learnt based on my own experience through life. First, particularly while you're in your 20s, follow your dream. If you really want to do a particular job or a particular exercise, give it a go. You may not succeed, but later on, you won't forgive yourself if you don't try. Your generation will probably go on working for a very long time, so a false start or two is unlikely to be the end of the world. Secondly, however difficult or unattractive it might be from time to time, always try and be busy, always try and do something. I found it surprising how often apparently useless experiences and even jobs turn out in practice both to be useful and beneficial to your character, sometimes very quickly, sometimes later on. Thirdly, don't despair if things appear to be going terribly wrong. Not only does luck have an uncanny knack of changing unexpectedly, but events which seem disappointing or even disastrous at the time often turn out to be highly advantageous. Fourthly, as you've probably realized already, chance plays a large part in everyone's life. You don't hear that said much. Successful people don't want to admit that their achievements were partly due to luck, and less successful people think that it sounds rather like sour grapes to blame bad luck. Fifthly, and finally, the importance of luck does not alter the fact that you'll improve your prospects by being hardworking, honest, and committed to what you do. Not only is it good for society if you are hardworking, honest, and committed, but it will ensure that you have a fulfilled and happy life. So with your education here now successfully completed, here you all are, ready to enter the world. I envy you all, I congratulate you all, and I wish you all the very best of luck. Thank you very much.
Chancellor, it is an honour and a privilege to introduce our honorary graduand, Lieutenant General Roméo Dallaire. General Dallaire is more than just an exceptional military commander. He is a celebrated and internationally renowned humanitarian, an impassioned advocate for human rights, genocide prevention, mental health, and war-affected children. I believe it was an old army priest who said to the general as a young man, "You know, soldiers are very unusual people. On the outside, they are the hardest, most demanding, severe people. But underneath that, they are the most human, the most feeling, the most emotionally attached people who exist." Having never been under the general's command, I cannot comment on the former, but there is abundant evidence of the latter. Born into a military family, the son of a Second World War veteran, General Dallaire always knew he wanted to be a soldier. He went from commanding toy soldiers on his parents' carpet in East End, Montreal, to commanding troops in the Canadian Army. His first taste of peacekeeping came in 1969 and 1970 during the separatist violence in Quebec, in Canada, when the army was tasked with maintaining law and order amidst unrest, bombings, kidnappings, and murder. After rising through the ranks, he was once again called upon to keep the peace, this time in Rwanda. However, the term peacekeeping is somewhat of a misnomer. The hardline Hutu signatories to the 1993 Arusha Accords had little interest in abiding by its provisions. As Force Commander of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Rwanda in 1994, General Dallaire was witness to a vicious genocide, the speed of which was unprecedented in human history. Over 800,000 Rwandans were murdered in roughly 100 days. In his award-winning and best-selling book, Shake Hands with the Devil, he tells the harrowing tale of this preventable tragedy. I remember reading it for the first time as a master's student, and ever since then, General Dallaire's name has, to me, been synonymous with bravery, honour, and integrity. Despite evidence of violent intentions on the part of the Hutu genocidaires, the general's calls for reinforcements went unheeded by UN officials and international leaders. No one was willing to bear the cost or the risk. At a time when the international community's moral compass had broken, his compelled him to disobey orders to evacuate, a very hard decision for a soldier, and stay in Rwanda to save as many lives as he could with what he had left. Genocide and ethnic cleansing continue to plague the world, and global responses to these challenges fail to live up to the famous Never Again pledge. Although it is difficult to affect the complacency and inertia of the international community, General Dallaire has not been deterred. Through a number of prominent roles, both internationally and as a Canadian senator from 2005 to 2014, he has continued to work tirelessly for human rights and to prevent genocide and mass atrocities. Moreover, he has used his own experience to raise awareness of post-traumatic stress disorder. He has also devoted himself to addressing another phenomenon he encountered in Rwanda, namely the use of child soldiers in conflict. Established in 2007, the Roméo Dallaire Child Soldiers Initiative is dedicated to ending the use of child soldiers by engaging in advocacy and prevention-oriented training of security forces, underpinned by research and field experience. Their work combines strategies for preventing the recruitment of child soldiers with training to improve security sector engagement with child soldiers in combat. By reducing the tactical and strategic value of child soldiers, this unique approach hopes to better protect children in war. General Dallaire has received numerous honours and awards, including Officer of the Order of Canada, Grand Officer of the National Order of Quebec, Commander of the Order of Military Merit, the Meritorious Service Cross, and the US Legion of Military Merit. His collection of honorific letters sounds like that of a self-glorified Middle Eastern dictator, the key difference being that he has in fact earned them all. I'm sure he also has more doctorates than the rest of the stage combined. Nonetheless, I hope that today's degree helps to cement the relationship between General Dallaire, his initiative, and the university, and that together we continue to try to achieve the General's noble goals. Graduands, General Dallaire's work and the values he embodies represent a shining example to emulate, particularly given the numerous conflicts that continue to ravage the lives of so many across the globe. You must care for your fellow human beings, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, gender, or any other identity marker often used to divide us. You must take a stand against indifference in the face of human tragedy, which we see all too often. To quote the General himself, "Now is the time to take up the cause of the advancement of human rights for all, and the moment is yours to grasp." Chancellor, for his outstanding dedication to peace and for his unending commitment to improve the lives of so many children, it is a very great honour to present to you Lieutenant General Roméo Dallaire for the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
By virtue of the powers vested in me by the University of York, I hereby have great pleasure in conferring upon you the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa. Thank you, sir.
Chancellor, members of the academic staff, council, family, friends, and particular graduates today, thank you for receiving me here once again in your country, and particularly for the second year in a row here at York, and the honor of being received among you as an alumnus now of York University. I am, yes, a retired general and nearly retired politician, senator, and so one of the big problems that we're going to have this afternoon is brevity. However, the instructions I received were numerous in reminding me that 5 minutes would be more than suitable to get my message across. And so that is going to be quite an exercise for us all. But let me, because of that, address you, the graduating class, members of the graduating class. For I wish to address you as the new members of the leadership strata of your nation. As you, with that degree, with the knowledge and the skills and ultimately the experience you will acquire, you will become more and more part of the leadership endeavors of this nation as it sees the future and doesn't simply survive the future, but in fact shapes the future. For ultimately, the aim is not for humanity to simply survive the future, but in fact to thrive. And should you be leaving this institution with the aim of hopefully helping humanity survive, then I would consider you not having well understood the breadth and depth of what was trying to be inculcated in you by the professorial corps and by your colleagues For the aim is truly for humanity to thrive. And in to do so, it needs that brain power, that rigorous intellectual endeavors that you've been going through in order to influence that future. Particularly as we have stumbled into an era that is so full of ethical, of moral, and of legal dilemmas that we seem to be trying to look at the future by simply handling today. And by looking at so many of our political elites trying to consider what's happening in the tactical short term, we are forgetting that ultimately it is only by going beyond the short term, by comprehending what is actually out there at a strategic level, at a grand level, at a humanitarian level, that we will be able to one day say that all humans are equal. For the question is not resolved as we see the actions and inactions of the international community, as we look at humanity. Are all humans human? Or are some more human than others? Are some actually more significant humans in the humanity in that race than others? Is it possible that we've actually established a pecking order in humanity? And in so doing, are deciding whether those will, in fact, be part of thriving and whether those will simply try to survive. I argue that all humans are human, that not one of us is more human than the other. And it is only not through tolerance, that pretentious term, but through respect that we will be equal, that we will recognize that equality. And in so doing, we will get ahead of the frictions that degenerate into conflict. That one day we will actually resolve these frictions without slaughtering each other, without destroying each other, but on the contrary, by building on the diversity and on the strengths that we all bring from our different cultural backgrounds and all our skills and knowledge and experience of life. I have seen how the international community can fail. I have recently returned from Burundi. I have recently returned from South Sudan. I have been in Darfur. All horrible failings because self-interest has dominated our decisions in regards to other human beings. Graduates, the first thing that I hope you bring with you from this institution, apart from the great intellectual rigor that you have acquired and that knowledge and skills, is a sense that you have a role in humanity. You have a leadership role in humanity, and that it is based on the respect of all human beings, and that there's not one of us that can pretentiously take the position of considering ourselves more human than the others. We are all equal, and every human has the right to thrive into the future. I wish you well. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ensemble Honorary will perform Never Weather Beaten Sail by Hubert Parry, followed by Words by Anders Edenroth.
No. string will hold forever humanity's spellbound words, possession of the beggar and the king. Everybody, every day, you and I, we all can say words, regarded as a complicated tool, created by man, implicated by mankind. Words, obsession of the genius and the fool. Everybody, every day, everywhere and every day. Oh, words, find them, you can use them, say them, you can hear them, write them, you can read them, love them, fear them. Words transmitted as befitted from the start, received by all and we're sentenced to a life with words, impression of the stupid and the smart. Everybody, every day, you and I, we all can say words. Inside your head can come alive as they say, softly, loudly, modestly and proudly. Words, expression by the living and the dead. Everybody, every day, everywhere and every way. Oh, words, find them, you can use them, say them, you can hear them, write them, you can read them, love them, fear them. Find them, use them, save them, hear them, write them, read them, love them, fear them, find them, you can use them, say them, you can hear them, write them, you can read them, love them, fear them, words, a letter and a letter on a string.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present the following candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Applied Human Rights. Ronnie Al-Assad. Shannon Basson. Jason Bridgewater. Manon Brun. Marianne Godard. Zaina Khan. Rima Katan. Alexandra Klang. Katrina Malilaumo. Sarah Napoli. Vanessa Perbos. Juliana Sodra Azevedo. Ali Swadling. Amy Woodruff. Wiam Youssef. And for the degree of Master of Laws in International Human Rights Law and Practice, Rebecca Amor. Christine Bonney. Mariam Sharif Haidara. Malin Ergens. Arman Kachatrayan. Mohammed Khan. Jack Leonard. Jack Mudd. Nicole Parchment. Saeed Reshteen. Rio Sasaki. Gemma Sunyar Español. Marina Vukovic. And last but hardly least, Alice Welsh.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Economics for Research and Determinants of Labour Supply at Older Ages, Ricky Canavar. For Research in International Macroeconomic Policy Coordination, Gosha Mitka. For Research in Cost-Effectiveness of Air Pollution Control, Letitia Smith. For Research in Optimal Policy Before, During and After the Crisis, Yaprak Tavman. For the degree of Master of Science in Econometrics and Economics, Zhujuan Lua. Daniel Mitchell. For the degree of Master of Science in Economic Evaluation for Healthcare Technology Assessment, Stephen Brennan. Yesu Di Rosando. Louisa Heron. Ian Kaiser. Deborah Thompson. For the degree of Master of Science in Economic and Social Policy Analysis, Jungbo Wang. For the degree of Master of Science in Economics, Mungring Lao Bam Wang. Philip Blackburn. Adriana Diaz Castillo. Filippo Ferrario. Haichuan Jia. Erdine Onek Oyon. For the degree of Master of Science in Economics and Finance, Xiao Ranghu. Jesse Morel. Gunyun Chin. Chin Ye Tian. Hyung Wong. Jia Jun Shao. Michael Wino. Kaiju. For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, Chin Xiao Tai. Lin Fu. Xian Ling Huan. Qin Yong. Liang Song. Chao Tang. Hao Wan. For the degree of Master of Science in Health Economics, Lucy Abel. Isaac Barker. Mikhail Basil. Sophie Buku-Vallis. Chloe Brown. Barony Dawkins. Emily Eaton Turner. Edward Franmansis. Daniel Furnival. Yun Jo Jeon. Benjamin Johnson. Jesu Funshu Kolada Ernest. Jessica Maloney. Alexandra Milo. Aaron Mishahi. Philip Morgan. Louisa Kirsten Muntendorf. Thomas Paling. Thomas Palmer. Maria Petro Brunau. Charlotte Rumwick. Chloe Theriot. Demetrius Teselis. Filippo Viti De Angelis. Platinus Ephantopoulos. For the degree of Master of Science in Project Analysis, Finance and Investment, Chunyang Wong. Tong Tong Wang. Xiao Hang Zhuao. For the degree of Master of Science in Public Economics, Wu Hang Lu. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Economics, Oliver Bull. Hayden Dark. Alistair Elrington. George Fust. Chloe Hayes. Claire Leonard. Stephanie McColden Bradwell. Ellie Peckenham. Dan Stevenson. Jacob Van Berkel. Luke Veneer. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Economics and Finance, Kaitang.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidate for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Law for research in Conceptions of Justice 1770 to 1870, Patrick Gallimore. For the degree of Master of Laws in International, Corporate and Commercial Law, Benjamin Fear. Elliot Keach. Roman Chalnitsky. Onyeka Nwoha. Aibanan Giefa Spiv. For the degree of Master of Laws in the Theory and Practice of Clinical Legal Education, Meredith Daniel. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Tim Monk. Mitchell Salter. Minal Supri. Liam White. Nima Zad.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics. For research on a dynamic structure for covariance matrices, John Box. For the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Mathematical Biology, Samuel Abbott. Christopher Charles Lakey. And Timothy Russell. For the degree of Master of Science in Financial Engineering, Xiaochong Cheng. Min Huang. Bingqing Jia. Shuchang Li. Yang Xie. And for the degree of Master of Science in Mathematical Finance, Georgi Chargazia. Alexei Polukharov. Ravi Wu. Ziliang Yin. Yuan Zhuang. For the degree of Master of Science in Statistics and Computational Finance, Henry Hong. Shuiying Jin. Siqi Li. Yuliang Li. Haojie Lin. And Hannah McGregor-Viney. For the degree of Master of Mathematics, Timothy Johnston. For the degree of Master of Mathematics in Mathematics and Computer Science, Perry Toyne. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Economics and Mathematics, Jonathan Moss. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, Emily Deere. Thomas Hardman. John Robert Meredith. Alicia Price. And Oliver Sharma. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Philosophy, Hugh Cornish.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Politics for research and exploration of NGO responses to sexual violence, Lucy Harding. For research in privatisation of asylum-seeking housing in the UK, Stephen Hirschler. For the degree of Master of Arts in Conflict Governance and Development, Selene Dia. Nicholas Mulak. Peter O'Reilly. For the degree in Master of Arts in International Political Economy, Yeston Jones. Samuel James Leach. Natalie Sawyer. For the degree of Master of Arts in International Relations, Hannah Haycox. Benjamin Hopkins. Ran Hu. Mamoon Kawa. James Mackenzie. Nevin Stanek. Mihu Yuko. Li Xing Zhao. Sun Ju. For the degree of Master of Arts in Political Philosophy, Candy Grantham. Racheli Salvaletti. Ruji Tan. For the degree of Master of Arts in Political Research, Maxwell Taylor McEwen. For the degree of Master of Arts in Political and Legal Theory, Toleration, Tristan Bird. Nicholas Button. Joseph Place. Robert Wilson. For the degree of Master of Arts in Public Administration and Public Policy, Ahmed Mayer Mohammed El Ashri. Gary Fordry. Cha Chian Ma. Cheese Wan. Rachel Zhao. For the degree of the Master of Arts in Public Policy, Governance and Development, Wei Han. Tian Li. Lei Zun. Ray Chargon Trey Rata Nanu Son. Liu Zhou. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Politics, Robin Innes. Thomas Mumford. Rebecca Trout. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Politics and International Relations, Isabel Scott.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present the following candidates. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Philosophy, Politics and Economics, for research in economic security in China, Dongjin Yang. For the degree of Master of Arts in Philosophy, Politics and Economics, Thomas Auer. Melissa Burbage. Diogo Caneiro. Britta Kühne. Sanchan Sabebal. Hani Syed. For the degree of Master of Arts in Philosophy, Politics and Economics, Political Economy, Vitul Payangot. Jiang Yu. For the degree of Master of Arts in Philosophy, Politics and Economics, Political Research, Paul Stabler. For the degree of Master of Arts in Philosophy, Politics and Economics, Politics and Development, Farshid Chabakil. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy, Politics and Economics, Jordan Burnside. Victor Fido.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Post-War Recovery Studies. Mohammed Ansari. Gregory Beattie. Sean Darby. Charlotte Dickinson. Rachel Eckersley. William Manham. Yuku Nishita. Rasha Obaid. Jacob Phillips. Anna Plunkett. Tessa Richardson. William Spearing. Martha Williams.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Women's Studies for research in bargaining with patriarchy in rural Pakistan, Nadia Aga. For the degree of Master of Arts in Women's Studies, Lauren Cowling. Haruti Gongsuk. Megan Herring. Li Shan. Sharon Winfield. Nicole Young. For the degree of Master of Arts in Women's Studies Humanities, Aurelia Ubeda Pochamenik. And finally, for the degree of Master of Arts in Women, Violence and Conflict, Hannah Burt.
Thank you so much. I also now formally confer upon all of those graduates who have so elected their degrees in absentia. Thank you very much. And so, a few words from the Chancellor. Can I just, well, what a thrill it is to stand up here, actually. And to capture the enthusiasm and the excitement of all of those who have come and shaken my hand this afternoon. And so many of you said, it's an honour. Well, it's an honour also for us to be able today to celebrate your graduation. Because I look on these ceremonies as being part formal ceremony, because those of you who came into York either as undergraduates or as postgraduates just a year or two or three or four or sometimes a little longer ago, then came into this room today as graduands, and now you go out as fully qualified graduates, and that's a cause for celebration, because it's not just a ceremony, it's actually a celebration. It's a celebration of an enormous amount of hard work that's gone into getting you to this point, but also a celebration of what you're going to do next. And we've heard from our two celebrated honorary degree recipients today just what life can provide in terms of opportunity. So allow me to confess at the outset of my speech today, which is that I am a complete novice. This is my first day as Chancellor awarding degrees. This is my second ceremony, so I need to apologize for all the mistakes I've made so far and those which I will make. I'm reminded of the story of the young man who goes off for his first day at work and meets the manager of the office where he's to work, and the manager hands him a broom. And the young man objects and says, "But I'm a graduate." And the manager says, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry." He says, "Give it back to me and I'll show you how it works." So it's an enormous privilege to be able to become the Chancellor of the University of York, and as many of you will know, it was my great joy to follow Greg Dyke. Greg Dyke, known to many people in this room, has had a fantastic career as Director General of the BBC, as the chairman, as he now is, of the Football Association. And you'll have seen England's fortune soar since... No, well, I won't go... but all I would say about Greg Dyke is that he has been immensely helpful and generous to this university and also to me personally as I have succeeded him. I'm still puzzled, by the way, as to why I was selected for this enormous honour. And I've been thinking about this because it parallels something that happened about 4 years ago when I was approached to see whether I would be willing to take on the chairmanship of NHS England. And the story I subsequently heard was that the government had originally approached a man called Alan Milburn, who was a former Labour Secretary of State for Health and now is the Chancellor of the University of Lancaster, which is apparently somewhere on the other side of the Pennines. Now, Alan's response to this approach was to say roundly, "Do I look as if I've got the word mug written across my forehead?" And civil servants went away for some time and pondered on that and concluded that Alan Milburn did not have the word mug across his forehead, so they needed to find somebody who did, which is when my phone started to ring and the hand of doom descended upon my shoulder. But what a phenomenal institution is the NHS. And like the great other institutions of our life, it is enduring and it creates enormous benefit. And so, being a novice in this role, I decided that I should find out how our students and their professors would have gone about preparing a speech such as this. What sort of work would they have done? I've listened very carefully to the Vice-Chancellor and to a number of students, and I can tell you I have followed the advice to the letter. I left it to the last minute. I got out a couple of bottles. I watched a couple of movies on the television. I did a whole lot of social media until I ran out of steam and found that there was no excuse but to get down and produce a prize-winning essay just in time for submission to a cynical and sceptical audience. And I'm grateful for the advice that I've been given. So I want this afternoon, first of all, to say some very sincere words of thanks. First of all, on behalf of the graduates, to all you, parents, friends and supporters who have come today to support them and us in this celebration. Secondly, to the faculty, to the members of teaching staff, many of them here today, but representing a much greater body of people and of scholarship and research at the University of York. Everybody else is actually in the library or in their laboratories this afternoon or otherwise beneficially engaged on research. Now, the point is that these are the people who, in their role as supervisors, as mentors, as lecturers and as educators, have made it possible for the graduating class today, and we owe them an enormous debt of gratitude. One of the big advantages, by the way, of being a member of staff and being a parent on that wing and on that wing is your ability to observe one of the extraordinary products of modern technology and engineering, by which I mean high heels. It is quite amazing, actually. At a former institution where I was a Vice-Chancellor, I have to say, and this is quite wrong, that members of staff would often exchange money and wages on which of the graduates might collapse on their high heels and need to be taken away. Fortunately, it didn't happen, and congratulations to everybody today. It hasn't happened yet. But it does remind me of a story of one young graduate who was coming across the stage, and he was, as some will do, waving exuberantly to friends and fellows and people in the audience. Got around halfway through, wasn't looking where he was going, and fell right down an open trapdoor that was beside him. To the astonishment of the audience, but to their greater astonishment to hear his mother say, "Oh, that's just a stage he's going through." We've been immensely privileged today to observe the conferment of honorary degrees on two outstanding recipients, and I have to say, an honorary degree is the highest award a university can make. To some, it may look like an easy pass to a degree that many others have had to work for several years to obtain. But I think we've demonstrated today just how false that understanding would be. I have to say I've been exceptionally moved by not only the orations that were prepared in respect of our two recipients, but also their words to us. I confess that I have, with Lord Neuberger, shared moments of sheer terror and horror in the Alps on the Lerner ski slopes when we progressed down them together in harmony, and I can swear to it that his courage knows no parallel. Anyway, amongst the company he was in, that was certainly true. But what a great day for us to be able to celebrate two great humanitarians, two men whose humanity shines through everything they do. And I would like, again, on behalf of the whole of the University of York, to congratulate you both on the award of honorary degrees today. I'm always very taken by the concept of a university, by the extraordinary way in which universities have developed since the 10th and 11th centuries. Even in this country, the two ancient universities, Oxford and Cambridge, have evolved over 800 years and remained consistent to a number of fundamental values. The value of the institutional autonomy, the freedom from government interference in what universities do, the value of the freedom of speech, the academic freedom of institutions, the combination of research and teaching that aims not just to educate and train a new generation, but through that generation spread knowledge and scholarship and technologies and science and innovation across a much wider recipient population. That, to me, is the core of what universities do. Occasionally, there's turbulence in the recognition of those values. There's the argument about whether the statue of Cecil Rhodes should be removed from Oriel College in Oxford, or the argument as to whether Germaine Greer should be denied a platform to speak to students in Cardiff University. Those are really abhorrent. The fundamental aspect of a university is that we should be able to do and say. We should have the fundamental right to offend people, actually. I think some of us have never found that too difficult, but the fundamental right within the law, that is no hate speech, no incitement to radical terrorism, no incitement to violence, but a capacity to engage in argument and, above all, in challenge to argument. That, to me, is what a university best represents. But secondly, and where I'm immensely impressed by York in particular, is our developing understanding that the historical, almost preordained ways in which we organize knowledge into different disciplines and into different departments and faculties and schools and universities doesn't really work any longer. It doesn't serve the tremendously exciting potential that emerges from cross-disciplinary study, from being able to bring, for example, the power of modern computing and nanotechnology to breakthroughs in medicine. There are many now who claim that over the next 2 decades, data science will contribute much more to the advancement of medicine and healthcare than medical science. Actually, it's a false dichotomy. Each is now hugely dependent upon the other, particularly as we enter the genomic era, and particularly as we try to develop an understanding, as so many of our graduates here this afternoon have presented to us, of the way in which disciplines come together, using mathematics to grind together disciplines which previously thought themselves free of that discipline. So I've been deeply impressed during my brief time at York to go to seminars produced by research champions which demonstrate the breadth as well as the depth of this university. It's a truly fine institution, and I'm delighted to be associated with it. Do you know, Figuratively, I've sat in every part of this room in my lifetime. I've sat there as a nervous undergraduate student, as a postgraduate student. I've sat in rooms such as this as a member of teaching staff, as a researcher, as a parent on 3 occasions and 2 postgraduate occasions. I have toured the world of universities and graduation ceremonies. But one thing I have learned, which is this: the speech that's given by the presiding officer is only ever remembered for at most 5 minutes after the close of proceedings. And I'm really fortified by the fact that nothing I say today can possibly dent your careers as you go out into the world. But so I will forego the normal pieties. I will forego the advice for life because, frankly, Lord Neuberger has already done it much better than I could possibly do it, and so has General Dallaire. So it gives me enormous pleasure to start to draw the proceedings to a close. But before I do so, there are 2 things I'm going to invite you to do. First, I'm really anxious to invite all those who are not graduating today, please to stand up and join me in once again congratulating our graduates, and cheering is permitted. So please stay there, because this is reciprocal. I'm going to invite our graduates, please, to stand up and thank you for everything that you have done to make this day possible. Please. Please remain standing. It gives me great pleasure now to declare closed this congregation for the conferment of awards. The academic procession will now leave the hall. Thank you.